Good morning, children. How are you all? I hope all of you are doing well. So, in the previous classes, regarding the chapter atoms, molecules and chemical equations, we have completed law of conservation of mass as well as the law of constant proportions in the previous classes. Now, in today's class, we are going to learn about Dalton's atomic theory. In this theory, Dalton explained about matter, how the matter is composed of. So, he explained about the matter in his theory based on his observations. So, this is also called as Dalton's atomic theory of matter. Okay. So, what are the postulates he has given in his atomic theory? Have written postulates one by one. So, each and every point is very, very important. Try to understand. So, Dalton on the whole explained about, he focused on matter. What is the matter and how the matter is composed of, with what material the matter is composed of. See the first point. Matter consists of indivisible particles called atoms. In his atomic theory, he explained that matter is composed of indivisible particles. The very small particles, according to Dalton, matter consists of tiny particles. Tiny in the sense very small particles, and they are indivisible. The word indivisible means they cannot be divided further. They themselves are the very smaller particles, and these smaller particles, these tiniest particles are called as atoms. In Greek language, atom means also, the meaning is indivisible. Atom means indivisible. These particles which are called atoms are indivisible, he said. So, matter consists of indivisible particles called atoms, and atoms are neither created nor destroyed, but reorganization of atoms occur in a chemical reaction. According to Dalton, atoms are neither created nor destroyed. The creation or destruction of atoms does not take place during a chemical reaction. But what is going to take place during any chemical reaction means the reorganization of atoms takes place. Reorganization means the atoms of one molecule may be combining with atoms of another molecule, like that. So, the reorganization, rejoining, recombining takes place within the substances so as to get the new substances, the new products during any chemical reaction. Whatever the atoms are reacting in the reaction, whatever atoms are involving in the chemical reaction, the same atoms, in between the same atoms, the reorganization takes place, and finally we get the new products. So, during the chemical reaction, reorganization of atoms only takes place. But the atoms are neither created nor destroyed. And third postulate, he said, all atoms of same element have identical mass and identical chemical properties. That means if you take any element, for example hydrogen, what he said, according to his explanation, all the atoms of hydrogen element, all atoms of hydrogen have identical mass, means same mass. All the hydrogen atoms have same mass, and all the chemical properties are also same for all the hydrogen atoms, because all hydrogen atoms belongs to the same element. So, like that is it. And again, if you take oxygen, element oxygen, the atoms of oxygen, all oxygen atoms have same identical mass and same chemical properties. For example, if you take oxygen, 8 oxygen, atomic number is 8 and atomic mass is 16. According to Dalton, mass is same for all oxygen atoms. All oxygen atoms, atomic mass is 16 unified mass units according to him, or 16 AMU. 16 AMU, atomic mass unit. So, atomic mass of all oxygen atoms is identical. Similarly, their chemical properties are also identical. Atoms of same elements, because they belongs to the same element. These atoms belongs to the same element. That's why they have identical mass and chemical properties. And in his next postulate, he said, when atoms of different elements combine in simple whole number ratios, the compounds are formed. Atoms of different elements combine in simple whole number ratios. For example, if you take the atom of hydrogen and atom of oxygen. When atom of hydrogen and atom of oxygen combined in a simple whole number ratio, that is 2:1 ratio, then we will get the H2O. When 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. Here, what is the ratio here? 2:1. So in 2:1 ratio, when 2 hydrogen atoms are combined with 1 oxygen atom in a simple whole number ratio, that is 2:1 ratio, we will get the H2O. Like that. Atoms of different elements. Here, this is the atom of hydrogen, this is the atom of oxygen. Atoms of different elements when combined in a simple whole number ratio, we get the compounds. The compounds are formed. Similarly, we can write, for example, S and O. Sulfur, atom of sulfur and atom of oxygen. When they are combined in a simple whole number ratio, that is 1:2, what we are going to get? 1 atom of sulfur and 2 atoms of oxygen. So, SO2. The compound formed here is SO2, sulfur dioxide, like that. It is another compound. Then last we said, when atoms of different elements combine in different whole number ratios, they form different compounds. That means atoms of different elements. For example, if you take the atoms of carbon and oxygen, the atoms of carbon and oxygen can combine in 2 different whole number ratios. When they are combined in 1:1 ratio, the same elements again, carbon and oxygen. When they are combined in 1:1 ratio, we get CO. That means carbon monoxide. The atoms of these 2 elements only, but when they are combined in 1:2 ratio, we get CO2. 1:2 means what? 1 atom of carbon and 2 atoms of oxygen. So when they are combined in 1:2 ratio, we get CO2. CO2 in the sense carbon dioxide. But the same elements when they are combined in 1:1 ratio, that means 1 carbon atom and 1 oxygen atom, we get CO. CO is nothing but carbon monoxide. CO2 means carbon dioxide. Remember children, these two are the 2 different compounds. Due to the different ratios, when these atoms of different elements are combined in 2 different ratios, that's why we are getting 2 different compounds. So this is there is a possibility of formation of 2 different compounds from the atoms of 2 different elements when they are joined in 2 different ratios. That is one example. Similarly, we can also give one more example from this sulfur and oxygen by taking sulfur and oxygen. So sulfur and oxygen also, when they are combined in the ratio, here in 1:2 ratio, in 1:3 ratio. Here we get SO2 here, 1 sulfur and 2 oxygens, SO2 we will get, 1 sulfur and 3 oxygens, if they combine with each other we will get SO3. There is the existence of 2 different compounds. SO2 is sulfur dioxide and SO3 is sulfur trioxide. Similarly, nitrogen and oxygen also, when they are combined in 1:2 ratio, we get NO2, that is nitrogen dioxide. Nitrogen trioxide, NO3, N2O4, nitrogen self-free oxide, like that. There are different compounds are there. Similarly, hydrogen and oxygen also, when they are combined in 2:1 ratio, we will get H2O. When they are combined in 1:1 ratio, we will get this compound, that is hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. H2O2 means, what is the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen here? 2:2. Simplest ratio we can write it as 1:1 only again. Here, because 1:1. H2O2, that is hydrogen peroxide. So with all these examples, we can say that the atoms of different elements, when they are combined in different whole number ratios, we get different compounds. They form different compounds. So these are the main postulates of Dalton's atomic theory of matter. So all of you go through this and learn all the points, write down the main points. Okay, thank you children.